Hello friends, in this video lesson we shall be taking a brief look at how batch flour therapy can help. First, we'll take a look at two terms that we use rather loosely: disease versus illness. Quite frankly, they are not the same and they have very specific meanings. Disease is a pathophysiological process. In other words, there is some pathology involved, there is something that is wrong with the physiology or the working of the body, and it's a process. Whereas illness is a personal experience of being unwell. Two people may be having the same disease, but their personal experience or how they are living their life, how they are feeling their life are two entirely different things. So remember, disease is a process, whereas illness is a personal experience. The medical model today is a disease-based model. This approach is essentially linear and reductionist in its attitude. It has a foundation which is based on genetics, on understanding cell activity, infection, molecular structure, and pharmacology. However, what we find is that all this has still led to a diminished faith in the medical establishment. We shall see why that is so very shortly. However, this loss of faith has driven people to alternative medical philosophies and practices. And I shall encourage all of you to read this particular paper, Why the Disease-Based Model of Medicine Fails Our Patients. This was published in the Western Journal of Medicine back in the year 2002. What is to be noted is that while this realization has just begun, it was about 80 years earlier that Dr. Bach had found these deficiencies and had worked out a new approach to disease, and that is what we shall be learning in this particular course. One of the reasons why people are seeking out alternative methodologies of healing is the fact that modern medical science, despite its advances, is today a leading cause of death. Yes, medical error is a leading cause of death. This is confirmed by a paper that has been published by the British Medical Journal. The BMJ in the 3rd May 2016 issue confirms the fact that medical error is in fact the third leading cause of death in the United States. We are talking about the United States, which is having one of the most developed medical facilities. We are not talking of any developing nation here. It is interesting to note that modern medicine is now accepting that negative emotions have tremendous impact on our health. In fact, negative emotions can intensify the threats to health. Probably this explains why some people remain healthy even in an epidemic, while some people often fall prey to epidemics and even die. It has also been accepted by modern medicine that negative emotions can contribute to prolonged infection and delayed wound healing, which means that the path of cure can be obstructed by negative emotions. Negative emotions also impact the process of aging. They also affect cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, Alzheimer's disease, frailty, and virtually every other chronic condition that is suffered by man. For those of you who wish to explore this further, I would invite you to refer to the Annual Review of Psychology, Volume 53, which was published in February 2002. And the name of the article, which you can search on Google, is Emotions, Morbidity and Mortality: New Perspectives from Psychoneuroimmunology. Point to be noted, once again, it's the year 2000 when the awareness of this particular facet has attracted the attention of modern science. There's another word here, psychoneuroimmunology, and we shall be dealing with this term more as the course progresses. So as we saw in the previous slide, the mental and emotional states are involved in the causation of disease. They affect the progress of disease. And mind you, these observations are not just correlational, but they are causal. This has been found by Hans Eysenck, a very famous psychiatrist. And sadly, modern medicine offers no solution. Let's take a look at the healing process that underlies Bach flower therapy. Bach flower therapy, or the Bach flower remedies, bring about harmony within the individual. It enables the body's own natural healing processes to take place. It may be used in conjunction with other therapies and medicines, so it is not an exclusive practice. It can be used as a supportive therapy, which is tremendously advantageous because it does not interfere with any other modality of healing. The aim of the remedies are self-help and self-awareness, as you will find that even though this therapy has been developed by a medically qualified doctor who was a very successful physician and surgeon and a researcher, a person who developed vaccines, yet he developed a methodology which was extremely easy to use by the common man. And this course will equip you to do just that. It is the simplicity of the system which is most appealing. Most of you would be interested in knowing if Bach flower therapies have been able to stand clinical trials in practice. Well, here are two studies which are supporting the fact that Bach flower therapies have tremendous influence on mental and emotional states. And mental and emotional states are the basis or the foundation on which physical disease manifests. Here is a study which shows that over a period of 3 months, depression measured on the Beck Depression Inventory has improved from somewhere close to 20 to a score somewhere close to 11. In order to make sense of the numbers, here are the guidelines. A score of 0 to 13 indicates minimal depression, while a score between 20 and 28 indicates moderate depression. So you can see that there has been a considerable improvement in depression. Yet another study which measured depression on the Hamilton Depression scores found that the scores dropped from somewhere close to 21 down to 10. Hamilton Depression scores mean the following. A score of 10 to 13 is mild, while a score of 17 or more is moderate to severe. So once again, on a different scale in a different clinical trial, they fared extremely well. I shall end this introductory talk with a case which will illustrate the efficacy of Bach flower remedies as well as the simplicity of the system. Remember, the key word in Bach flower therapy and the practice of Bach flower remedies is simplicity. This is the case of a 10-year-old boy who was suffering from bouts of diarrhea every time he was about to leave home. Some kind of a nervousness that led to diarrhea. He had been under the treatment of various allopathic doctors, but it had not helped him one bit. His condition started shortly after his father had a near fatal car accident. Also, it was discovered during the session with the Bach flower therapist that he had tremendous sibling rivalry and he was constantly seeking the attention of his parents. At school, he felt bullied and bossed around, and he lacked tremendous amount of confidence. So as you can see, we have a picture of a boy, the personality and the emotional state, and that is all that we will need in order to find a remedy. Now we shall see how the remedies were chosen based on the information presented in the previous slide. What has been taken into account is the fact that the child had suffered shock after the father's near-fatal accident. He had some kind of an unknown dread which perhaps led to his bouts of diarrhea before leaving home. We are told that he was constantly seeking the attention of parents, perhaps out of sibling rivalry, and that he was lacking confidence at school and felt bullied. Based on this, the choice of remedies were Star of Bethlehem, Aspen, Chicory, and Larch. The condition of the child improved considerably, and after he stopped taking the remedies following 4 weeks of constant improvement, he had a relapse, and because of that the remedies were repeated, and thereafter his condition was permanently healed. So it's as simple as that. Bach flower therapy is meant to be simple. It does not require any kind of a medical knowledge. It does not require you to understand anatomy, physiology, pathology, process of disease, nothing of that nature. Because as has been acknowledged by modern science and was discovered by Dr. Bach, the underlying condition is the personality and the emotional state of the person, and that is all that you need to do. So friends, what are you going to learn in this course? You are going to have a mastery of the 38 remedies. By the end of this course, you will have the confidence, you'll have the competence, and you will be able to use these remedies to help yourself, your friends, family, and clients in a very proficient way. You will be able to identify the subtle differences that may help you make the correct choice. And finally, you're going to earn more, because the more you learn, the more you earn. And it's not just earning money, it's going to enhance your reputation as a professional, regardless of whether you're a clinical psychologist, a counselor, a physiotherapist, a caregiver, or a medical practitioner. You stand to benefit tremendously from this course. So friends, thank you very much for your attention, and we shall meet once again in the next lesson that follows. Thank you and bye-bye.